Hello everyone, my name is Darian, and welcome back to my little series of covering fun American Horror Story theories. I apologize for my microphone quality. I am currently using headphones. I don't have a microphone to use right now, but that is in the works. Don't worry about it. I feel like it's important to mention that all the theories I cover are all fan theories. They aren't confirmed by the creators of the show or the writers, meaning they're not supposed to be taken as canon content, but they are still fun to discuss and think about. It's been a while since I covered a theory in a video like this, but I'm probably going to start posting more since we're all excited and waiting for American Horror Story Season 12. Today I'm going to be discussing the Adam and Eve theory tied to American Horror Story Season 8's Apocalypse. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Season 8 yet, I will be discussing topics tied to that season as well as brief mentions of Season 2's Asylum and Season 6's Roanoke. Alright, let's get into it, guys. Briefly summarizing part of Season 8, it opens with the literal end of the world. Very much fire and brimstone, world-ending war, the whole shebang. We are introduced to several new characters as society around them goes into a spiraling panic. But the two characters that we're going to be focusing on in this video are Emily and Timothy Campbell. It's relevant to note that Emily was never introduced with a last name, leading fans to speculate that she was the long-lost daughter of Lee Harris from Roanoke, whose daughter was also named Emily. This was never proven or confirmed by anyone other than fans, but it is a very interesting concept nonetheless. We first meet Timothy Campbell, where he was kidnapped by a shady group known as the Cooperative, claiming his blood was unique and that he was special, and that he has a rare opportunity to survive the end of the world.
Your son's exceptional genetic makeup makes him a prime candidate.
Prime candidate to do what?
Survive.
In an underground holding facility, he meets Emily, who was also taken for the exact same reason. Her blood was remarkable. Outside of these brief explanations as to why they were chosen, it was never elaborated on later in the season, leading fans to collectively wonder what those lines meant. Season 8 had a much more religious storyline than the majority of the other seasons, touching on the concepts of heaven and hell repeatedly throughout the episodes. Season 2 did the same thing, leaning heavily on religion for plot, but in the grand scheme of things, I think that specific plot is exceptionally different than the one in Season 8, especially since the two seasons were never officially connected. Michael Langdon, who supposedly handpicked Emily and Timothy to survive due to their rare DNA, was later explained to be the Antichrist and the reason why the world ended in the first place. Consistently throughout the first 3 episodes, we see Emily and Timothy struggle with the rules of the outpost they were moved to, ignoring their budding romance until they can sneak occasional kisses in secret. This, of course, led to more issues down the road because the outpost has specific rules against sex as well as intimacy in general.
And no unauthorized copulation of any kind, under any circumstances. No exceptions.
What? You're joking.
Now, let's discuss the baseline of this theory. Pretty early on, fans began to pick up on familiar religious characterizations in Timothy and Emily, making them wonder, are they supposed to represent modernized versions of Adam and Eve? And I'm here to weigh in with my own opinions on this theory and say yes, 100%. That was absolutely the writer's intention. Emily has a lot of connections to the story of Eve. She is the one who discovered the snakes in her room, not unlike Eve finding the serpent in the garden. She is also the one who influences Timothy to do things like how Eve influenced Adam to eat the fruit. She persuades him to sneak into Michael's room, convinces him to try to leave the outpost with her, as well as later feeding a literal apple to him. It's all very on the nose, though not entirely confirmed by the showrunners, so it does still remain a fan theory.
Oh, I suck at this game.
It's okay, we can share.
Timothy also briefly showed ties to Adam, where the darkness in the outpost did try to reach out and corrupt him privately, though without the influence of Emily or Eve, it was more or less ignored and the set rules were followed. I think Emily and Timothy were supposed to represent the concept of future life if taken to the sanctuary. They participated in sin, aka sexual intercourse, also commonly referenced as forbidden fruit. It also ties back to the poisoned apples they eat later, another nod to the fruit that Eve shared with Adam that led them to the life of sin, but in this particular case, death. I think their repeated references to the two of them having special genetic makeup somehow ties back to this Adam and Eve theory, since we later find out that they gave birth to the next Antichrist in the reverse timeline, essentially exposing them as having always been Michael's backup plan if he initially failed his own plan. Their sin technically led to the birth of ultimate sin, a new plague upon the world, if you will. This is also where I kind of want to add my own 2 cents on this topic. I do think they're supposed to represent Adam and Eve, but I think their biblical fate was purposefully reversed for the show. Adam and Eve were kicked out of Eden for sinning and breaking rules. Emily and Timothy were going to be thrown out of Outpost 3, not unlike their biblical counterparts, but Michael saved them, brought them back, made them feel safe, because that's what he wants for his sanctuary, aka his own twisted version of Eden. He wants sinners. I wish they expanded upon Michael's connection to the two, because admittedly I feel like there could have been a really interesting dynamic there, but I digress. I'm not too sure what more needs to be said. We didn't get too much content with Emily and Timothy, unfortunately. I think their plot could have been very interesting if they stuck with it, but sadly we only have theories. I have more theories like this written down for future videos. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. Tell me if you notice anything about these characters that I personally didn't. I love American Horror Story theories in general, so there's really no bad ones I've come across so far. I hope you guys had a lot of fun, and stay spooky.